Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Noisy Neighbours podcast. As usual, joined by my brother Christian. Christian, Friday night, how are we, mate?
All good, mate. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Yeah, ready
Have
for
a
the
good,
weekend.
good night last night.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah,
What for?
no, in fairness, I'm probably doing it down. It's probably the best performance under Amarim
Best
since the
night of
club
my life.
best ever. So yeah, I mean, I certainly take it. There's no doubt. Anything. I took the Fulham game and that was shit. So yeah, yeah, no. So
100%.
I think we can get straight into the transfers. We've got. Is it Monday? Monday it closes. I know today's the last day in January,
Yeah.
but it's Monday, right? Okay, so it's hotting up now, and you can almost sense the panic across multiple teams now,
Oh
which
God,
is
yeah,
really
definitely.
interesting. Both of our clubs being two of those. And so first one, obviously City have had a lot of done deals. United got their first done deal. Patrick Dorgu from Lecce,
Yeah.
£25 million. I know the euro. I don't. Can we just? I wish people and the media would just say it all in the same currency.
Wow.
So
It's
£25
so
million,
long.
5 million add-ons. Okay, right. The add-ons are apparently quite challenging as well. So if we pay the add-ons, it'll be obviously worth it. Not like your 50 appearances. It's actually, I don't know for certain, but I think it's related to like winning actual trophies and team performance. So
Yeah.
it could just be 25 mil if we don't go on and win any trophies, and that's a possibility. So
Yeah.
in this day and age, really cheap. Patrick Dorgu is a left back. We're not going to lie and say me and you have watched anything of him because we probably haven't. But we've done the YouTube. Well, I've done the YouTube. I think you have as well. And we've had a quick look at him. He's a left back by trade. Looks like he can play in multiple positions. I think somebody did his minutes breakdown. He's done a bit of wing, been on the wing. He's been at right back, but he does play
Yeah.
for a very poor Serie A side. So I don't know if we're going to see anything other than left back. And to be
Yeah.
honest, we need a left back. We have not invested in that position. I mean, Luke Shaw was 2014, and we've
Yeah.
not since then. We had Daley Blind was like in for a couple of years, and the last year 12 mil backup. We've not actually gone and bought a starting left back since 2014. So, have you seen him, and what do you think? Well, what do you think of what you've seen? Admittedly, you've not seen a 90 minutes of the guy, but sort
Yeah.
of the player profile and how he's going to fit with the sort of 11. What do you
Listen,
think?
we're all doing the same thing, aren't we? We're all going YouTube and checking, and everyone looks min on YouTube. But I think he undoubtedly makes you stronger. Listen, you've got a naturally left-sided player. He looks quite powerful.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be like the cleanest dribbler. I will admit
No.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, look, it's a position where it's hard to be bad in if you're athletic,
Mm,
big sprinter. You know what I mean? I can't see it being bad, especially for
yeah.
the money being touted. If you're telling me like 25 mil or whatever pound, I just think it makes sense for United, and I think he'll fit in. He's not going to be. I can't see anyone turning around and saying it's a bad signing in the end. Can
Mm.
you?
No, yeah, I mean, like you said, 25 mil. I mean, if you say that's what, I mean, even, what would you say? Say if you went back to Luke Shaw days, it's probably about 8 mil
Exactly.
for the inflation. So it is really cheap. And Lecce were playing really difficult at one point. So they've done well to negotiate to that price.
Yeah.
However, they have got to be good. This player has to be good. We need a left back. I know it's not a gaff if he's shit, to your point, and I think that's what you're leading to, that, okay, we've got, 25 mil, we can sort of accept a loss on.
Yeah.
Like Anthony being shit, Hoyland being shit is completely different. But we do need someone to come in and play well in that position. We have tread water now with Dallo there, Wan-Bissaka there last year for a bit, Mazraoui there for a bit. These players, even Dallo is probably technically okay, and he struggles. He's not a left
Yeah.
back.
I think defensively as well, it doesn't really matter if he's defensively not up there because this is the one advantage with that system.
Yeah.
You can lean on the defender next to you. So ultimately, if he is decent, half decent going forward, which he does look from his highlights, I mean,
Yeah.
he's going to be a threat, and he's quick
Oh,
and
unreal,
he's a
yeah.
big athlete. So he's
I mean,
certainly going to be.
the usual stuff is going to be in question. Technical, how good technically he is and how good the
Yeah,
final ball is. But like you said, the transition play is going to improve.
yeah,
We're going to have a natural outlet. And so no, it's definitely. I mean, you think about it. We play like a Garnacho or a Mainu last night, which I have been really wanting for a while in that left 10. This is like your bonus position. Your spare man is your left wing back and your right wing back in the system. So, yeah, I mean, we spoke about the physicality of this team, and we've been banging on about how slow and unfit to a degree. But the athleticism, the player profiles at Man United is so we're nowhere near the level of like reasonably athletic teams, and we get ran through, and City are the same to a degree. But we go back to what Ranić said. The physicality in this team is so poor. We need to raise the athleticism. Ten Hag did the opposite. The club let Ten Hag do the opposite.
Yeah.
You look at the players linked. We're going to come to another one in a minute, Matthias Tell. You think, okay, look, they've got to be good at football, but they are looking at these players like, we need to get pace and power into this team. Like, we are getting bullied. Like, do you remember the Brighton game and you went, oh, their midfield will run straight through you. Bournemouth. Dude, these teams, these mid-table teams with a bit of athleticism are killing us. So,
yeah.
I like the profile. Look, you've got to see the guy, I remember, 2009, you were going to bed worried because you watched a Gabriel Obertan video on YouTube. That's what it can do to you, and so you've got to go on because you want to have a look at who you're buying. But at the same time, until you see him in a red shirt and playing, how can you really make a serious sort of assessment of the player? Just one thing, he's actually on the bench tonight for Lecce. Did you know that?
That's very strange. Really? I'm guessing Here We Go's been done, hasn't it?
Here We Go's been done. He's coming over tomorrow for medical.
Very strange.
It's crazy. I mean, apparently it's a relegation game for Lecce, but I don't know. Would you not just if United have accepted it, you would play him? They've put him on the bench.
Yeah,
if he gets injured, I can't see him flying into tackles, surely. But even if he pulled hamstring, United will pull out. But yeah, so...
What do you think, just a quick one on it, what do you think it means for Dalot?
I think Dallow's going to play right wing back till the end of the season, and then I think they might look at changing him. I think Mazraoui's going to go right centre back.
Right, okay, interesting.
Which is where he played last night, and when Ahmad has been there, that's where Mazraoui's played. So it suits Mazraoui because he's very
he's solid defensively,
very solid, and he's aggressive and he's quick. So he's decent. It's like that thing when you tweak certain positions where he's not good enough there, but at right centre back he's capable of passing it 10 yards, and I think it's the aggressive on the halfway line play that we don't get from even De Ligt.
I agree, actually. I think it's the perfect balance for him, if I'm being honest.
Well, he has looked good there in certain moments. The defence in general's been shaky, but I think then it's Maguire, De Ligt will be your centre of the three. They will battle that out. Surely you think De Ligt's going to play there. And then you've got Martinez looks to have locked that left centre-back because he is sort of giving us a bit on the ball, which is good in recent weeks anyway, and obviously come up with a couple of goals and assists, which is valuable in this team. And then obviously Dorgu, you'd imagine, is going to start. It's like straight away, and he's 20. So yeah, again, another young lad, another potential, but hopefully I won't be whinging about this as much as I am the others. Look, I'm happy that they've signed in this position. Whether he's good or not, time's going to tell in it. No pun intended there. We're going to go on to Matthias Tell, who has basically said to Bayern he wants out, right? I must admit, don't know a lot about the player. He did score against United in the Champions League last year in a 4-3 win, I think it was. I think he's just struggled for game time under Kompany, and they are stacked, Bayern, so it doesn't mean he's bad. Daniel Levy's gone over there tonight to negotiate the signing for Spurs. They want to pay €60 million. Again, we're flipping currency, but about 50 million quid for the guy. Obviously, Bayern are like, we'll accept that offer. Tell has rejected Tottenham, according to reports.
It's so Daniel
Levy's flown over to see him face to face, and Tell has said no. Do you think Matthias Tell has something lined up, and do you think it's United?
Yeah, probably. Well, even if he's not got it lined up, I think he's undoubtedly saving himself for that move, isn't he? That's his preference, clearly. So, Yeah, in terms of him though, I just don't know what. Listen, if United can get him on loan with no
Mm.
sort of obligation situation lined up, I think
Yeah.
it's a no risk sort of deal. I don't know if I've seen enough in him. I don't want to slate the guy and say,
Mm.
I think he's shit or anything. But all I will say is when I have seen him play, he's never exactly lit the game alight or made me think he's going to go on to be. I mean, well, why are they selling him at the end of the day? Why can he
Yeah.
obviously not get in the buying side? Why are they?
Reminds me of a bit of a young Rashford, very scruffy on the ball,
Yeah, again, he
bit of
doesn't
a
look the cleanest of dribblers.
not
I'm
clean
not.
dribbler, and then it's the ball striking comes and goes. But again, not seen loads of the guy, but from the clips I've seen, you know,
But you've already
it's
got a
sort of
Xerxes in
like,
the team who is ultimately a scruffy dribbler.
mm,
I don't know if it makes sense, but at the end of the day, if you can do a loan deal and get it over
mm,
the line,
yeah,
it's not too bad of business for United, is it? And you can assess the situation. If he comes in, he's mint, get him on a permanent.
yeah,
Yeah.
option to buy. But I suppose from Tell's perspective, but then again, he maybe just don't want fucking Tottenham. They
Mate, look where
Spurs,
they are. Do you blame the
yeah.
guy?
Yeah, exactly. And for them to blow that much money on this guy, I don't think that's a good move from Spurs. I mean, if the deal isn't going to go through, so they haven't got the option. But I just mental. I mean, it's panic stations all around in it, and I do think United are. There's a few cogs in the wheel here, so I think United are thinking loan Rashford out, loan Tell in. That's
Yeah.
the and then reassess in the summer.
What would you think?
So
Just a quick one. Did you see John Duran has gone to Saudi?
yeah, yeah, I
So
got you.
because of this currency thing, I was getting confused as well, and I was
Mm,
just a bit like, oh, I'm sure when I saw it touted online, it was like
mm,
90 million or something, and then like they said it on the radio before, and they were like 65 million deal. So I was like, it's
mm.
actually not that much for like what we've seen. He has looked like he's a decent player. Would you have
Yeah.
entertained him at
No,
65 mil? Would you
I'm
not?
not a massive. I don't long term rate Duran, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
Just I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I think his impacts. He's an impact player.
Mm.
Again, technically, I just don't love his game that much. I think
Oh
he
yeah,
has
technically
like
not great.
he's good in moments.
He seems a good
Yeah,
finisher, if I'm being honest.
yeah, he does. Yeah, yeah. It's just a weird one with Villa because them two are sharing one position. It's hard. I mean, we've seen more of Watkins,
Mm.
who I mean, fucking hell, he could have been out the door yesterday as well. It's crazy at the moment. A 66 minute. I mean, you've got to take that. If you, I mean, I do not blame Villa at all. He's not. There's no guarantee he's going to be anywhere near that player. I mean, he's done okay, but yeah, I mean, I would have. I suppose you think, well, Watkins. Did you know Watkins is 29, by the way?
No, I didn't know that.
29, yeah. So if you look at it, you would think, well, sell Watkins, keep Duran. I think because of
Yeah.
age, I think that says a lot that they're keeping the 29-year-old and selling the younger lad.
Apparently Duran's been a bit moody, like throwing his arms about, and there's
mm,
rumours of that he's not been too
well,
happy with his role and stuff.
well,
So
Watkins has been pissed off coming off. You can't share position to the because it is
yeah.
every single game 60th minute hooked and
Well, I'll tell you what, if he's throwing his arms about, he's certainly going to the right team in Saudi because he's
Ronaldo.
going to get on with a certain fella you
Yeah.
have an abundance with.
4-4-2 with Ronaldo. Fucking
Mate, that's
Alderweireld.
going to be chaos. If he's a moody striker that doesn't like passing, Jesus
Yeah.
wept. He's going to the wrong team in Saudi.
And now, definitely. So Rashford to Villa. So Villa have got Villa now are in a in a position which is not always great, where you have got a very good chunk of money and you need to bring someone in.
And
Which
everybody
I
knows
do
it.
think they need to bring someone in.
Yeah.
What position I'm not sure, and this is what I'm going to get to. So Rashford now. So they've been flirting with Felix. That's not happened. They are now looking at Marcus Rashford, who has been holding out for this Barca move that doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So David Ornstein reported that Emery wants Rashford specifically on loan, I would imagine. I mean, look, I suppose if they really lost their head and offered 60 million, United would take it. They'd take less
Yeah.
probably to get him off the wage bill. What I mean, so Rodgers is their left winger. Rashford is not better than Rodgers. Rashford's nowhere near Watkins as far as the striker goes.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with this? They're going to take Rashford's wages and put him on the right.
It seems like, yeah, or he sees him as like he'll play a Duran sort of role where he'll rotate with Watkins. But we've seen,
though.
yeah, we've seen as a striker, Rashford doesn't cut it. So yeah,
Rodgers to the 10 or the right it could work actually. Rodgers is just generally a good player. I'm just trying to think. They play 3 in centre mid, don't they?
but we've
Tielemans is
seen
like
Rashford is the best. His best position, undoubtedly, is off the left, isn't it?
yeah. It's the only position he
So
can play.
So yeah, exactly. So if you're signing him, you're gonna have to really play him where he wants to play. I don't know. It is a bit of a strange one.
If United can get him out the door to Villa, then you bring Tell in. It's almost swapping 1A for 1B, in my opinion. They're very similar players. One's
but currently, you never see Rashford, so it will actually be like a new signing. I mean,
That's
Rashford has
true,
basically been sacked.
It is an upgrade because we haven't got anyone there at the minute.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to keep Garnacho, which is I'm a little bit disappointed about.
What's happened with that?
Well, look, who knows? You know, we've got 2 days left. You wouldn't rule Chelsea losing their head. Say Chelsea lost this weekend. I don't even know who they've got. But if Chelsea have a bad result this weekend, you wouldn't rule out them just losing their heads and going offering again for Garnacho.
Yeah.
But I think if United probably don't want to be in this Villa position of 60 mil on the hip.
Yeah.
And you're going to get ripped off. There's no doubt about it. And I'm guessing they're probably thinking, well, if we sell Garnacho, we don't want to replace him. Seriously, what does the rest of the season look like? I mean, you really are then thinking Matthias Tell has got to be amazing, and that's even if they get him. So it's probably just ran out of time, and I think as well because they've put this little win streak together. Do you think now that the ownership, like Ineos, might be looking at it and going, well, Amorim's got a little bit of a run together. Do we really? Because I was saying to you, sell Garnacho, write the season off completely, and then spend the money in the summer. Now you're thinking, oh God, they could go for this Europa League.
I know what you mean, but I would 100% go with that option just because you're going to have the money in the bank then that you can seriously roll with in the summer. And his
value isn't going to get any better than it. I mean, 60 million.
I mean, we've seen, haven't we? We've seen Garnacho's performances. You know, are Chelsea going to come back in for him in the summer and pay 70 million? I don't think so. I mean, have they seen something already which has made them back out?
I
mean, the outcry online of him going for that much money, well, it was a bit weird. United fans were like going, no, we don't want to sell him. And like the Chelsea fans I was seeing was like, what the fuck, why are we paying this much? So it was a bit of a weird one. United fans obviously rate him because he's their player. But ultimately, I just think if it was a situation where they came in last few minutes of the window for 70 million, I would just write the season off. At the end of the day, what's best case scenario for you with Garnacho? Is he really going to move the needle that you're going to win a Europa? I think if you do win a Europa, he's not going to be instrumental in it.
Yeah, and that's linked to what I've been saying for weeks about Mainu playing in this left 10 role, which he played last night. And it's like, if Mainu can play that, you're not sort of complete bare bones because effectively Dorgu's going to play left wing back.
Yeah.
Not that Garnacho's been playing there anyway, and Mainu's going to play as the advanced role, which I do really, really want to happen, and I hope that does happen. So in a way, look, Garnacho isn't starting for me anyway, so I don't really care. I was just looking at it from a perspective of Amorim. I didn't think he was going to do the Mainu 10.
Yeah.
Now he has. Yeah, I suppose you make a good point that it does open up that option of flogging him and holding on to the money because Mainu might start anyway.
Yeah, I think the only thing is the fact you've moved on Anthony and then, you know, Rashford's looking like you've got to do something with him.
I mean, would you rule out Arsenal? Look, Arsenal did a bit of a PR offer, in my opinion, yesterday for Watkins. Yeah. Would you rule out Arsenal? They are under pressure now.
Mate, the biggest PR stunt from Arsenal is yet to come because it's coming on transfer deadline day and they're getting in Marcus Rashford with a daft...
I actually think they could offer for him, and I actually think Rashford would go. This is because Villa are going to be able to persuade Rashford. I think Rashford thinks Villa's beneath him, when in reality they're not.
Bro.
All along, this has been Rashford's level from being 18 years old. He is a Europa League forward who will have streaks of being amazing.
Well, mate, we've just discussed Rodgers is miles better than him, so he's
Yeah,
coming in,
Rodgers
and
is
is he even starting? But
better.
the thing is with Marcus Rashford, he has a very high opinion, whether it's of himself or his footballing ability, maybe both. That's why he's held out this long for that Barcelona offer, which looks like now is never going to come anyway. It's why he's been doing that, because if he saw himself as a more mid player, he would have just gone to Dortmund, but he doesn't want that. So
No.
it suggests he won't go to Villa. He'll 100%, if they come in Arsenal, which I think they genuinely will, he'll go.
Arsenal, I agree with you. Look, I mean, we're going to be probably back on here again discussing it. Rashford is going to go, I think. I think they're going to get him out the door because there's enough interest and enough panic. You've got Villa now with cash, and they might cover the wages because they've got the money to do it now. Arsenal will cover the wages, I would imagine, and they're under pressure now. Their fan base wants something, and they've almost made a rob for their own back because now the fans are going, well, you had 60 mil available yesterday, so now you better go and get us someone. You know, don't be going, well, what we tried with Watkins. No, you said you offered 60 mil for a 29-year-old yesterday. You better go and get us someone now. So they've fucked up a bit, in my opinion. That Arsenal should have just not offered anything and rode the window out.
I agree with you. It was such a strange. What are they doing? What? You know, when you see some Arsenal channels and they do say this. Obviously, we like a couple of Arsenal fan channels, and they've been calling this shit out that Arsenal are really bad for it. Where they'll just be seen to be doing something, offering for a player which Villa are not accepting 60 million for Watkins, regardless of the John Duran situation.
Yeah.
They are not accepting. Mate, they got 100 offers for fucking Grealish. You really think they're going to sell one of their best players for 60 million mid-season? Just don't offer it.
Well. I mean, he's 29. That did shock me a little bit, but I do get it from Villa's perspective. Where are they going to go with that? They're going to, because if you would sell Watkins and keep Duran, that's a risk. And obviously they've gone and dealt Duran anyway. I think Villa have done it right. The problem is now that I think a loan move makes sense for Villa, so they don't get ripped off. Is it Rashford? Is it Felix? They're obviously pitching quite hard.
But then again, they're in a bit of a situation where there's not many suitors for Rashford. It seems that nobody wants to pay for him. There's plenty of clubs that are happy for a loan handout.
But you said it perfectly.
Is Barcelona not an option for a loan till the end of the season? Because they love doing that.
No, the only thing I would say is your Nico Gonzalez offer could affect that, but we'll come to that in the City side of things. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Really, you've got a guy who thinks too much of himself on too much money, and that's Rashford. He is not. His ability doesn't match his salary.
No,
and United have done nothing to drive his, reputation up. I mean,
your manager's driving the price down every time he speaks about it.
Well, and that's a separate thing. I mean, look, there's honesty and then there's just stupidity. You're meant to put people in the shop window. What the hell are we doing? We're telling the whole world that he's the worst trainer on planet Earth, and then also saying, will you take his 350 grand a week wages off our hands in January? It's madness, really. But look, I don't know. I don't know what the planning was from United from a month ago.
It's a strange marketing technique, to say the least.
Yeah, I know. Bayern should be doing that with Matthias Tell. They should be telling everyone how crap he is, like United do, and then asking for a massive offer, because that's how you run clubs these days. But look, I think if you're projecting it, Rashford out on loan to Arsenal or Villa feels like a possibility.
Yeah.
Tell in on loan from Bayern. Again, I don't know what that's going to bring for United. Dorgu, done deal, and that might be it. So
I'd say so, yeah.
We're looking at, can Amorim improve the players? And we have avoided the playoff, which City haven't, and we're going to come to that in a minute. But avoiding the playoff frees up February. Now we've got a nice month, and Amorim can get them on the training pitch. There should be a bit of confidence in the squad now. We have won 3 in a row somehow. It doesn't feel like that, but we have.
Yeah.
Palace on Sunday. Look, again, I'm worried because we played last night and this team just seemed to lay an egg when they're tired. So, look, Palace at home should be 4 wins in a row and you're feeling quite good. And the Mainu, number 10, he finally did it after me banging on about it for fucking months. I think I mentioned it under Ten Hag. And he got a goal and an assist last night, which was great. So, and he also missed an amazing chance. He should have had 2 goals. So, Yeah, I mean, look, you
The
think
good thing
that,
is for Dorgu is you're gonna stretch the pitch as well, which you do not
yeah,
have. Ultimately, I feel United's problem. They get so
mm,
far up the pitch and all your players are stood in one position because you
yeah, yeah,
don't actually stretch the wings. Because even
mm,
Garnacho, all he looks to do is cut in. He's
yeah,
so predictable. Obviously, when you had Anthony on the other side, he's exactly the same just on the other side.
yeah,
Diallo, he does somewhat stretch it.
mm,
However, I think you need in that position in the formation you're playing. If you've got
yeah,
a wing back bombing on, it does create some space for a number 10. So
yeah, yeah.
I think it makes complete sense.
I
He's
don't,
the most
yeah,
talented player on the ball you have by a mile, Mainu. So the fact
mm,
that it's not been thought of
yeah.
before this
Well, I
amazes
mean,
me.
yeah, you make a great point. I suppose if you just strip it back a little bit, like you said, like Dorgu improves us in transition and stretches the pitch, and then Ahmad and Mainu in the advanced roles, essentially either side of a striker. Admittedly,
Yeah,
we haven't got any good strikers. All of a sudden, you think, well, Mainu and Ahmad are technically really good. Dorgu should be stretching the pitch and giving them space. Is something happening? Is there a bit of a? Can you see a team there with Ugarte and Fernandez in the deeper role, which does help us in a way? I know
yeah.
Fernandez is not a centre mid, but he is a reasonably good passer,
Hmm.
and he can progress the ball quite quickly to the creative players. Are we starting to see something? I don't know. Look, I mean, time will tell on that, but I mean, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. I ultimately the United season is now the Europa League.
Where do you think Tell fits in then? Do you think he'd be coming in and playing in the middle?
I'd say there's a good chance because I think
That's
he's had
basically
enough. I
enough.
think like last night he subbed Hoyland, didn't even look at him. It felt like the Rashford sub.
Well, yeah, I can't
So
see him staying past next summer. To be honest,
yeah,
Holden, I think he's going to get shifted on.
yeah. I mean, look, Mainu could still play centre mid occasionally as well. I don't think he's going to look. I like to think he's going to give him a run at this number 10 role, but I don't think it's going to be. There's going to be rotation all over the place. I'd imagine because he said that. He said, "Look, me and the coaches are still getting to know the players. We've
Yeah,
not had many training sessions because it's been so hectic. February is going to be a good opportunity for that and we've avoided the playoffs, so we've got 2 less games.
they've not had many training
So
sessions. Well, bloody hell, tell Marcus Rashford that
mm,
they've not
and
had many, and he's seen enough to be
yeah.
fucking sacking him.
Well, apparently Rashford has none because he doesn't do anything. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting. I mean, look, I do sort of look at it now and I think like for the first time in a long time, I feel like I could sort of project you my sort of 11 in a way, which is like I'm not saying I don't know how good it's going to be, but I'm just saying Ugarte, Fernandez, Mainu, Ahmad, and a striker, and then Dorgu and Dallo as the wingback. Like you're sort of picturing a team all of a sudden, which is
yeah.
wild because it's been a complete mess for
It balances you. It does balance you. There's no doubt about
yeah.
that.
But
So
ultimately, with if Dorgu doesn't start well, him and Dallo all of a sudden become weaknesses, and you're back to square one again. And this is the problem we've got. But let's see. The guy's not put on a shirt yet. We'll see how he does. But there's
I
going to be
don't
a
think
lot
he
of
can be. I don't think he's going to come in. I don't think he really can be bad because what we've seen of him, we know he's an athlete. We know he's reasonably quick.
yeah.
Unless his dribbling is absolutely
Mm.
appalling at Prem level, I
Mm.
can't see it being too
Well,
bad for you. It's going to improve you. I think
was
we
it?
can all settle on that.
What game was it when I said to you, was it Fulham and Mesrari was the one that kept picking up the ball in that? It was actually inside. It wasn't out wide because Garnacho was basically playing as a
Yeah,
proper winger. And I said to you, Mesrari was picking it up in those pockets in between halfway line and penalty box, and he
mm,
was the one that had that opportunity to turn and progress it quickly.
yeah,
And you think, well, okay, well maybe if Dorgu's picking it up there, he's going to turn and he's going to be aggressive with the ball. Like you said, we don't know how close the control's going to be, but if he's picking up those areas that Mesraoui is, you know, that's you've got to be thinking. Look, he's still a defender. I'm not saying we're going to be getting major production from the guy, but Mesraoui ain't going to progress it 20 yards carrying it. Whereas Dorgu, I mean, the numbers say he is very good at progressing the ball.
yeah.
I don't know what happens at the end of it, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing how this progresses definitely, and I assume you think the same as me, just all in on Europa League. for
Yeah,
United.
I think that's your only option. Like I say, it does affect what's happening in the last days of the window. If you do end up getting rid of Rashford and Garnacho, I think your fans are going to pretty much write it off unless you randomly go and splash cash. But if you do roll the rest of the season with what you've got, just try for a cup run. I mean, who's the other best team? Would you say in Europa? I've not really.
So Lazio won it.
Right.
But with the fixtures, you can get a few weird ones at the top. So I'm not looking too much into it. I think Bilbao and the finals at their ground. So you'd probably say they'd be
Is that
dangerous.
Nico Williams' team?
Yeah, Nico plays for them. Obviously Spurs, God knows what they'll look like. We're on the opposite side of the draw to Spurs. So if you do think that United and Spurs will get to the final, it will happen. We can't get each other than the final.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I mean, a Spurs United final would be hilarious with how shit those
Spurs
teams
could win it. Spurs could win it and end up playing Champions League football in Championship.
I thought that, but to be honest, I've been thinking that about United until we pieced this little run together. I mean, United have won 5 of the last 6. I mean, what the fuck? Mate.
It is mad, isn't it? It is mad because when I think of United and the form they're in, like the way you play every week is so bad, but you have actually won some matches, so it is what it is.
Let's think about it, right? Say if we I don't know the fixtures beyond Palace. I think there might be a couple of tricky ones coming up, but it doesn't matter anyway because we've been shit against everyone.
Yeah.
But, so obviously we've won 5 out of 6 now. You think, okay, beat Palace 6 out of 7, and then you say the Dorgu and Mainu 10 really improves us.
Are you telling me you're on for a title charge?
Yeah, somebody said if Liverpool lose all of their games, if we can win the league on 74 points.
Oh, God.
No, I'm joking, obviously. Yeah, no, forget the league. Look, the players aren't down in tools, so there's still going to be games to play for. But as far as top 6, you can forget it. I just don't see us even pushing for that. And is there any point anyway? I'd rather win the Europa League and come 10th than come 6th and lose the Europa in the semis. So
the joke is, from the teams you've told me, unless I'm missing, unless I can't think of one, you should really win it. I mean, Tottenham is shit, mate. They are an absolute joke.
Yeah,
they're going to give Ange till that cup fight. Well, depending on what happens in that Liverpool game at Anfield, which I imagine they'll get smashed.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get rid of him.
But we've been here before, haven't we? Where United are like, oh, you should win the Europa. 2 legs against Sevilla, out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I
don't think Sevilla are in it, or unless I've missed them. But Bilbao, I suppose, could be a comparable team there, where it's like, you go to Bilbao, you lose 3-0 in the first leg, and you're fucking out. So.
Alex, what happened with that? Do you remember there used to be the rule when you come out the Champions League, and if you finish, I think it was 3rd, you went into Europa. What's the situation with that?
They binned it because I suppose it's just too hard to. It's too hard to work it out, I guess, isn't it? So
that's a shame because we could have met you there. Because
there was 1 year where we were both in it. I can't. Yeah, defo. It would have been a Fergie year, I think, and we had a disastrous group stage. And I think you had a group of death. And we both went into it.
Yeah. Was it when we had Napoli, Madrid, and someone else?
Possibly. It would have. Yeah, possibly. I mean, off the top of my head, maybe 2011. But yeah, we could probably look in the bar if somebody sees it. Comments, let us know. But yeah, so I think that's where we're at in this window. There's going to be a lot. I think there's going to be a lot more, like you said. But Rashford needs to look at this and think. His level has always been mid to top 6 team. Villa, a perfect team for him, in my opinion. And like you said, he might struggle to start over Rodgers.
Do you think with Rashford, do you think he's struggling to come to terms with it? Like when he was younger, there was a lot of talk of what he could have become. And he's obviously had that one good season where he was really impressive when he was scored away at like Nou Camp, and he did have a really good year then. Do you think he's struggling to come to terms with the fact that he's never going to become that player, and he is genuinely a mid-table player?
Probably, yeah, probably. I think if you get mistaken for your peaks, then yeah, and he's, it's widely reported he's not surrounding himself with the best people and the best advice, because I mean, if they're telling him that they think that post Qatar World Cup form is actually who he is, then they're doing him no favours, because he was just hot. He was hot in the World Cup. He should have started that fucking game against France. He was absolutely out of his mind on fire for about 2 months, and then he actually ended that season shit. That's what people, and he's been shit ever since. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I just look at it and I just think we need to. He should be looking at this as an opportunity to sort of get his career on track and try and be consistent there. That's what I
So,
think.
as a United fan, what would you say? What's your ideal ending of the window?
I probably would get rid of Rashford on
Yeah.
loan or off. Well, if we could get a fee, but I doubt we will. Get him out. Get Rashford gone. I would still go for one of the Chelsea lads over Tell, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I would go for Felix or Nkunku. I would go for Felix, really. But I appreciate Mainu might have changed that plan if he's playing that left 10. So probably Nkunku again now. I'm kind of going a
Well,
bit back
either
and
of them
forth on
two,
that.
Felix or Nkunku, could both play as a
I
false
would
nine, couldn't
go,
they?
just because I think Mainu might get a run in this, the position I wanted Felix to play.
Yeah.
I would probably go get rid of Rashford, and then I would go Nkunku 1, Felix 2, Tell 3. We're probably going to get Tell, though, I'd imagine. If he's turned Spurs down, I know Spurs are crap, but
Surely he knows something.
isn't it? He knows something. And then Bayern might be just like, we'll let you go to United on loan, and that's what he wants. So
Yeah.
let's just see how that goes. I'm hoping Amorim can improve the team. We've spoke about coaching, and
I tell you
it's
what, it's
all
a
well and
risky
good.
one for Bayern. They must be quite pissed off because
Yeah.
if he goes to you on loan, I don't think United will allow like an obligation clause. So then you're left with, if he comes to United for 6 months and he stinks it up, his value is nothing close to what Tottenham were prepared to part with.
That's the potential argument, doesn't it? But
Well, this is it. I mean, if he comes to the Prem and he's shit, you're in a situation where you're going to struggle to get anywhere near to the value Tottenham were.
the parent club suffer all the time. I mean, obviously, look, let's hope he is good, because I want United to win something. Don't we all? I mean, certainly when your league form shit, you really are putting all your eggs in a trophy, and somehow United keep coming up with them every so often. But like you said, someone's got to win this Europa League. Someone's got to win it. Like, that's just it. So why it should be? We should be in and around that, and we play a system that is a good cup system. 3-4-3 does suit knockout tournaments. So
yeah,
I think there's a lot to happen, and I'm interested to see what they do in the next 3 days. I don't see anything mega. Like, I don't see Garnacho going now, and I don't see United spending 60 mil. It's going to be loan for loan, I think.
Yeah, that's all I can see happening, because although, like you say, that it's weird, in it with the final days of the window, you can have like a knock-on effect, can't you? For instance, like we go and get Gonzalez, apparently Barca get 40% sell-on clause or something ridiculous. So if we go and pay 60 million, they're going to free up a lot of cash. So they could
get the money,
they could potentially go and get Rashford on a permanent for 30
It
million.
definitely is an option, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like, 60 mil release clause for Nico Gonzalez, we're going to come to that in the City section, but 60 mil, 40% of 60 mil is...
It's roughly 20.
About 40 mil? It's over half, so half's 30 euro, or 35, maybe 35 million Barca would receive. Yeah. Could they offer that? United take it. That's not a bad shout, actually. Yeah. So City pay the 60 mil release clause for Gonzalez. Barcelona get 35 million of that because of the 40% pay knock-on.
Mate, they're all connected. They're all connected as well. You've just got to remember, Villa have just got a windfall off Saudi. So if they go and pay for Felix outright, suddenly that gives Chelsea cash. Chelsea could go and get Garnacho. You could go and get, mate, it's chaos. So it could end up being a fucking frantic end.
City signing Gonzalez could provide the money to Barca to go and sign Rashford. It's crazy. City could facilitate this.
Yeah, I think we could be the straw that breaks it, and then you'll see it'll be the domino, and then all sorts of madness will unfold.
Because 35 million would do it. United would take that.
Yeah.
They'd probably take fucking under that. Garnacho's a bit different because there's look, I wouldn't be spending this much money on potential, but clubs keep getting conned into it. Apparently, if he's 21, they want to go and spend more money on him. So, yeah, let's see what happens. I'm sure we'll probably have to jump on here very, very soon.
Yeah, mate, I expect some emergencies.
So, yeah, no, I think just on United did play well last night. They dominated a really poor side, but finally did what I wanted, which was Mainu at the number 10, and he was really good, and the confidence was back. There's a bit of swagger to him. Obviously, the goal, the assist, the great chance he missed, just looked way more like himself, and It suits him, man. Like I liked Amarim's honesty when Mainu's been struggling defensively in centre mid, and he has. He is not a centre mid in a 2-man midfield.
Yeah.
He's not. So yeah, let's see what happens. Palace on Sunday. Hopefully they get that. That'd be 4 wins in a row and 6 out of 7. I don't know where I've been for this 6 out of 7 because it's been shit, but.
So it's Palace is at home, right? We're away, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you must be.
You know what's mad? You know when you came here for the first watch along we did live, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Since then, we've only lost 1 game.
Yeah, it's mad.
I've won the rest.
And you've been absolutely appalling.
And I've been so angry with this team. And since you left here, we've lost 1 and won 5.
It is mad when you look at it like that. When you remember the games and how shit you've been, but dude, it is what it is, isn't it? Points on the board, it's what you need. So
yeah, that's it. Let's hope there's some confidence in the team, and Amarim can actually coach them to a better level, which is what we all want from a coach. So let's wrap it. I think that's great. Thank you for listening, guys, and hopefully we'll be back on with some more transfer news for United in the very near future. Hopefully, good news. But yeah, catch you on the next one.
Cheers, everyone.